deep. So I just, like, it's really hard to remember what you felt like in the run, but I really sort of just felt like I shut my head off. I literally stared at the floor the whole time, and I just took a big deep breath like every second, and I was just like, just 1 kilometre at a time, like just get through 1 kilometre at a time. And then I remember hitting 30k and being like, okay, 12k to go, and then I realised that I was like 0.6 behind the marker already because I'd accumulated more distance, and I was like, okay. And I just literally just took myself through each kilometre. I was like, just take yourself through each kilometre, like you have no choice but to do this. Like, and that was the moment I said to myself, I was like, reminding myself, I was like, this is why you decided to do this, because you made a choice to go through the hard, so you can't give in to the hard. Like, you've got to push through this. Like, you're going to make it and it's going to be fine, but you've got to go through this. That is going to be one of those memories that stays with me for the rest of my life, because I was singing and I had tears in my eyes, and I could see people looking at me, and they could feel my emotion, I could feel their emotion watching me, and that just moment, like, it makes me want to cry because it was just so amazing. I didn't realise it meant that much to me. Oh my god. It meant that much to me. It was just the best feeling in the whole world. Like, yeah, it was just incredible. It was amazing. Here we are at the debrief of the London Marathon. Oh my goodness me. I can't believe it, actually. It's been 14 months since I sat and did this last. Like, that time has gone so quick. And I also just can't believe that London Marathon is finished, because this has been my rolling purpose for the last 30 weeks. It's just been a London Marathon. Like, life has just been about the London Marathon. And it's been amazing. Like, it's actually been incredible. This is my favourite run to date. Like, I definitely preferred the fast half marathon I did to my sub 4. And I didn't get the joy out of my sub 4 that I got out of this one. And it just really feels quite surreal, and it feels pretty magic, to be honest with you. So obviously the overall result of the London Marathon was I got a 3:39 on my watch, which I am going to hold on to, because anyone who's run a marathon knows that you always run further in the marathon, because obviously you do a lot of weaving. You can't follow the exact line of the marathon, which they've plotted out at the shortest point of the marathon for the elite. Whereas, you know, when I call us muggles.
Muggles? Aren't they?
Victoria got that in my head. Call us muggle runners. Normal people, we have to run with a crowd. So I ended up running 0.8 kilometres further than the marathon, so I did 43k in the end. But I stopped my watch at the marathon. I always do that because I've run a marathon and that's the time that I'm going for. So the goal was to try and hit within my head, didn't want to tell anyone, but the goal within my own mind was to try and get a sub 3:40. Like, that really truly was the goal. And I personally feel that I've achieved that. I know that some people are a bit like touchy-feely sensitive about the whole chip timer thing. However, I'm not one of those people. There's more to life, so don't worry about that. But I'm really proud of the time that I got on my watch, because I know that I ran a marathon. I know that I ran a marathon in 3 hours and 39 minutes. The chip timer was 3 hours 42, which I'm still so proud about. And as I said to you, like, within my mind, after doing the 30k, which is on my YouTube at race pace, and obviously getting faster, I felt within me, if I really pushed, I could maybe get a sub 3:40. So I actually got 3 hours 39 minutes and 8 seconds. So 8 seconds, it would have been in the 3 hours 38, which is so exciting. I can't believe I got in the 3:30s. Like, that is just so fucking fast. And literally, I started running, started this marathon running journey not last January, the January before. Before that, I'd, like everybody, done a couple of 5Ks in lockdown badly, got niggles, got an injury, and then never did anything again. So that's officially when I started running. So I'm super pleased and proud of that. Like, it's just been such an amazing experience. And the whole journey of the London Marathon was definitely more relaxed than the last marathon. Like, I got ready in the morning, we got prepped. It was really nice starting at 10:20 actually, because it gives you so much time to fart around, stress all you need to stress, and you haven't got to rush. Because again, if you go back to my last marathon video, the sub 4, I had to get up and I had to be there at 6 a.m. So I was super anxious the night before, didn't sleep very well, I had 4 hours sleep, and then I had to get up at 4 in the morning to run a sub 4 marathon, which was just horrific. Whereas this time I had 7.5 hours sleep, got up at 6, it was all, or 5:30 I think it was all nice and dandy, had my rice cakes and honey. The only things that I ran into here was actually, as I was travelling there, I got hungry because I'd eaten at 5:30, but I ate at 5:30 because I wanted to go for a poo. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to shit myself in this run. So that was the most important thing to me. So I definitely would next time take a learning lesson from that and eat my breakfast, but then just take a snack for on the way. Nothing too heavy. I saw people eating their full breakfast there like 15 minutes before, and I was like, oh, a bit too much for me. But the whole experience was great. I got ready, got on the way there, family took me there, met my friend Emma. We were in the same wave, which was so lucky. It was so lucky. I'm so pleased we got to share that experience together. And then obviously we got started, and I think a couple of different learning lessons again. Like, it was cold. I should have just wore a vest. I don't know why I wore a sports bra. It was fucking freezing. But I'm glad that I didn't wear the long sleeve top that I was wearing in the marathon because it was so cold. But it did end up becoming quite hot. The crowds were exceptional. Like, they were crazy. It was absolutely mental. The actual run itself, so I took 8 gels with me, and I had all bar half a chew at the end, which I sort of like regurgitated and spat back out at 38k because it wouldn't go in. So I grabbed a Lucozade instead. So I still have the same amount of fueling. That went really well. My heart rate was just really high. Like, I think I expected my heart rate to be lower in this marathon. Like, it was super high from the start. I'll show you the Strava stats actually. But it was really, really high from the start. So it didn't go down how I would expect it to. I did that race pace run in Dubai, and I held an average heart rate of like 56 or 58 for 30k in Dubai, which was insane. I think it was just one of those runs that just went really well, but also it was super flat, so there was no elevation at all. So I don't know why it didn't go as well as it did in Dubai. I held a faster pace in Dubai for the first 30k than I did in this one. I had to push harder at the end of this one, so I don't know why it didn't go as well as Dubai. It just is what it is. Sometimes it's not there as much. The anxiety's there, the nerves are there. Obviously the crowds were actually quite overwhelming, and I found that my heart rate kept flying higher when I paid attention to it. So in the end I just looked at the floor and tried to sort of block out the noise and just focus on what I was doing. But from 27k I definitely didn't hit a wall. A wall is when you're under fueled. I didn't hit a wall till I continued my pace and got faster, but it was hard. It was really, really hard, which I didn't expect that early on, because my 30k in Dubai went so well. I finished the 30k and me and Simon debated me doing another 5 because I felt so good. He was like, you could keep going. And I was like, I could keep going. I was like, I actually feel fine. I was talking to him, I was super chill, my heart rate was super low. My heart rate only went over 160 towards the end, so I don't know why this was so different. But yeah, heart rate spiked up about 27. I felt quite sick quite a lot. The chews weren't going down as well as they did in the training, so next time I would just have gels. They were making me feel worse. I couldn't even chew and swallow them very well, but I did it. And then yeah, it was a big deep, so I just, like, it's really hard to remember what you felt like in the run, but I really sort of just felt like I shut my head off, I literally stared at the floor the whole time, and I just took a big deep breath like every second, and I was just like, just 1 kilometre at a time, like just get through 1 kilometre at a time. And then I remember hitting 30k and being like, okay, 12k to go, and then I realised that I was like 0.6 behind the marker already because I'd accumulated more distance, and I was like, okay, 13k to go. So I had an extra kilometre run, and I just literally just took myself through each kilometre. I was like, just take yourself through each kilometre, like you have no choice but to do this. Like, and that was the moment I said to myself, I was like reminding myself, I was like, this is why you decided to do this, because you made a choice to go through the hard, so you can't give in to the hard. Like, you've got to push through this. Like, you're going to make it and it's going to be fine, but you've got to go through this. And I think that's the moment where you really have to dig deep, and that's why all of the training that you see me do, the fighting, the pushing, the being resilient, the pushing through the most difficult and challenging moments, is because that's replicated on the day. And if you can replicate that in your training, you've got used to pushing through the hard in your training, and then on the day it's not a surprise at how difficult it feels. If you're constantly giving in your marathon prep and you're stopping and you're walking because it feels challenging, then you're probably going to do it on the day. So you need to replicate that through. You need to push through the hard. You need to get used to heart rate being higher. It was really interesting because my heart rate was higher than it ever had been in Dubai. Really, I actually didn't experience my heart rate going that high in Dubai. So yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but I just, like I said, just took deep breaths. I was like, you're going to be fine. Just keep fueling, keep hydrated. Like I was forcing the gels in. I was sticking to my nutrition strategy, like literally stuck to it on the point. I had 30 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. Then I went for an hour and 50, went 10 minutes early because I was feeling it already at that point. Then I went 2 hours 20, 2 hours 40, 3 hours. And then I tried my last one at 3 hours 20 when I had half. But like I said, I picked up a couple of Lucozade and I was like, oh, swallowed that. So the nutrition was the same. So yeah, we made it. I mean, the last 4K of the run was the best. So I don't run with headphones in. I just run to the beat of my shoes. I was listening to the crowd. I was just listening to my breath, talking myself through it, because this is the challenge that you need to go through. I think like the biggest thing with running is like it's a feeling. Like running's a feeling. Like it's the pride and the achievement is a feeling, and that's a feeling that I don't want to skip. And I think when you listen to music, sometimes you're quite distracted from those challenges that you need to go through, and sometimes it feels like hectic in my head from listening to too much music. So I was there, I was present in the challenge, and I was being with the challenge. Like that's the biggest part of running for me. Running a marathon is that it's supposed to be hard. Like that's what a marathon is about. Like you choose hard, you choose challenge, you choose to push yourself and see what you're capable of in a moment when some people feel that like they can't take it anymore. But in reality, it's only a few hours of your life that you've got to sustain the hard for. So that, for me, that's what I want to embrace. I don't listen to music, and I save the music for the end, because then I enjoy it. Like I put the Chase and Say as Too Rough album on, and then I put an Adele drum and bass remix on it, and I just transformed. Like this last 4K, it was the best strategy I've ever had. The last 4K, I just transformed. Like I felt like I was flying. I wasn't flying. I was still at 5 minute K. I thought I was going like 4:30 or something. I wasn't. But I was flying. I was singing at the end of the marathon, and I fucking loved it. I was crying, singing. It was just amazing. Like the euphoria that I felt at that moment, and I'm so happy that I saved the music to the last 4K. Like I literally got to the last 4K, I looked at 38K, and I was like, I've done it. I was like, I've done it. Like I've fucking done it. I was like, I've got through that battle and that challenge, and I've done it. Like the elated feeling. And then I was like, the music for me is a reward. So I was like, you've done, like you can put music on now, like enjoy it, like you've done it. So that for me, that's when that music steps in, because I'm like, this is the reward at the end of it. Like fucking enjoy it now, girl. And I did. I fucking loved it. Like you can see this one on my face, because that is going to be one of those memories that stays with me for the rest of my life, because I was singing and I had tears in my eyes, and I could see people looking at me, and they could feel my emotion, and I could feel their emotion watching me. And that just moment, like it makes me want to cry, because it was just so amazing. What is this? I didn't realise it meant that much to me. Oh my god. It meant that much to me. It was just the best feeling in the whole world. Like, yeah, it was just incredible. It was amazing. So, yeah, the last 4K. This is how it felt. I was just flying, singing, and I felt like I was the only person that was fueled, because I was just tearing past everyone. I was flying. That's what I felt like. I felt like I had a rocket in my bum. And just crossing the finish line, and the photos, I'll put them up now. I was literally airborne. I was like the happiest woman in the whole world, probably the only happy person crossing the finish line, and it was just amazing. Yeah, it was really incredible. So a debrief from it, that I'm so glad I did everything that I did. I still truly believe that you have to push yourself farther than you think that you can in your training in order for the day to come true. For those of us who are genetically blessed with speed, that's just not me. I'm not a good runner naturally. I've really, really worked hard for everything I've got. So every time I get is because I've really sold my soul every single week for it. And I've really given it my everything, and I gave that everything I had. I couldn't have done it anymore. So that's what I've always said to you guys all the way through this prep, is that you have to give everything that you've got, and you can feel really proud of yourself with the outcome. But I truly believe that if you give everything you've got, the outcome is exactly what you deserve. So yeah, I'm super happy with it, and yeah, stay tuned for what will be coming next, what will be the next challenge. Over and out.
Sorry.